We're back again. Today's video is going to be the art of the clearance sacrifice. What is a clearance sacrifice? Well, it's basically just a sacrifice. You give something to get something. We'll see what we get from this game. We're continuing the series on the Blumenfeld counter gambit. Not really a series. It's like a pseudo series. I'm just calling it a series. But it stems from an anti-Nimzo. What is an anti-Nimzo? So knight f6, e6 against the queen's gambit. White goes knight c3, you go bishop b4, it's the Nimzo Indian. You go knight f3, it's the anti-Nimzo Indian. So how do you play against this? Well, the idea we're pitching has been pawn to c5. Kind of like a Benoni until black plays b5 and it turns into an open banco. Are you getting the references? Is the camera angle bad? I'm on a trip in an Airbnb and this is the best we could do, so bear with me. It's been an on and off month with uploading. It's not always going to be one of those months, but this month is one of those months. So stick around. We're going to have some good chess to look over today. Not some great chess because they both blunder. By the way, this is David Navarra versus Vlastimil Babula, played in Czech Republic 2013. Some good moves were made, some bad moves were made, but that's what we like seeing when we review Grandmaster games. All right, now it's time to cook. Intro out of the way. Venting all day. Let's begin. Bishop to g5, the critical line. All right, them taking doesn't make all too much sense. You actually take back with this pawn. If takes, this is considered the main line, and you see it is an open banco. You develop normally. We looked at a game where black has very easy development and does some good tings if all goes well. But in this game, we get bishop to g5, which is quote-unquote the refutation. Last video, we looked at this line in a tactical manner. Today, we're going to look at it in a positional manner because you need both to be a good chess player, they say. Pawn to b4. All right, gain some space on the queen side. This knight can't go to c3, can't go to a3. Not too bad for black. And we get knight to d2, a development move. Bishop to e7. What's the point of bishop to e7? You would be correct that the point of bishop e7 is to stop e4. Because if pawn to e4, you get the tactical line as seen in last game. However, you would also be correct that e4 is the best move for white. It's very computery. It's not played all too much. And amazingly enough, after the move knight takes d5, white is better. You pick up a clean pawn, you get a chess.com tactic on move 7, and you're worse. Sad day. Sad to see. Why are you worse? I messed around with it with the engine. White has to play bishop to c4, which no top level player has ever found. That's how you know this is computery. And the bishop pair is just not great. And it's actually just quite hard to play as black. White is going to gain a lot of space. Okay, they're down a pawn, but they're freezing your queen side. So what do you think about this position? I would love to argue that black is up a pawn and better. But then I tried playing against the computer with it, and I kind of got squashed like a bug. So fair statement the computer has. So we're not going to go down the tactical line. We're going to go down the positional line. That is bishop takes f6. This is a much calmer approach. We get the nice diagonal. Instead of it being fianchettoed, it's on f6. So that's fine. We get queen c2 developmentally and pawn d6, a good move. The point of this move is if takes, you take back with the bishop. Chillin'. You're chillin'. Free development. We get pawn to e3 castles. Okay, castles. Why is castling a mistake? I actually found this when I was looking at the game by myself, mind you. The reason it's a mistake, and I was super surprised neither side saw this because Navarro is 2,700, Babula is 2,600. But the point is, it was a blitz game, but mind you, didn't take too long for me. So pawn takes e6, bishop takes e6, bishop to d3. You get the battery on h7. Now, let's say you stop the battery connection on h7. Bishop to e4 is not lights out, but it's not exactly lights on for black. So it's not all too great, but they didn't play it. They did not play it, right? d5 just doesn't look too good. Doesn't look all too good. But what should black have done? He should have taken, right? Like a Benoni. You take and then you castle, and now you're actually chilling. Right, because the pawn's on d5, so the rook is safe, and you still have a base of the pawn chain defending c5, so I'm not going to say you're chilling again, right? We've said that a few too many times. So we get castles, bishop to d3, all right, a little bit of a move order thing. At this point, yeah, g6 or h6. Computer wants taking. That is insanity. I don't think anybody's playing that over the board. Maybe magnesium, calcium, probably not. I think everybody's going h6 or g6. Now what should white do? Well, again, white should take. If bishop takes, bishop e4. And if pawn takes, now you've really weakened yourself over here. So h4 becomes tenfold stronger on your king side. And that is actually annoying to deal with without the f-pawn, not gonna lie. So that could have been done, but instead white played h4. And this is the problem with people. They just rush things, you know? And then it makes your opponent respond. Don't respond to it. Don't play that game. Just ignore it. Fight in the center. Divert the attention. Just be better. Be better. So what does black need to do now? Black has to take on d5. Why does black have to take on d5? Well, to eliminate any of those bishop e4 stuff, but more importantly to guard g4. Because white wants to expand very quickly on the king side. So opening up the board, right, you kind of blow open the center. First of all, you're blowing open the e-file. You're opening up the light square diagonal to stop g4. Maybe if you go bishop g4, you stop h5. There might be knight h2 stuff. But, you know, you're changing the dynamic, the structural component of the position. And that's exactly what you want to do. When you're dealt pressure, change the structure, and it'll provide shock value that your opponent will then need to figure out. You can't be too hasty. So we do get takes. And now look at this. Just ignore it. You just go knight d7, right? h5. I mean, people get super scared, but what are you scared about? You can even take with either pawn, but there's nothing to be scared about. There's no sacrifices. Right? You just go queen g7. Big chillin'. Oh, we said it again. That'll be the last time. But it's a lot better to, right, when you react to an attack, you give the attack credit. If you don't react to it, it's like the attack isn't even there, because it's really not, unless you believe it's there, right? Don't see ghosts. Crazy stuff. Pawn h5. All right, pawn h5, he reacted to it, and the bar goes down or up for white. It's not a great move. So granted, there's no sacrifices right away. And what should white do? He goes knight c4, all right. Nice move. We got bishop to g7 preemptively. Maybe he went bishop g7 because, okay, say we waste a move with like a6. Let's calculate. Bishop takes g6, pawn takes, queen takes check. I'd imagine you get bishop g7. There's knight g5 in the midst. You're aiming in on d6. Not so easy for black to play. So preemptively, bishop g7, short. We get knight g5, good move. Queen e7, fine move. And what should white do? See, he kind of burnt his attack by going h4 too quickly. And the best move is actually castling kingside, but I understand not wanting to do that because you kind of cashed in on checkmating your opponent. You're like, I want to checkmate him on the kingside, so why would I castle kingside? You could go e4, okay, there's nothing really there. But instead he castles queenside, right? He's really cashing in on this whole kingside idea, rather. Now is where black starts playing well. Find the beautiful move here that completely changes the tide of the game. It's a clearance sacrifice. It's a decent little hint there. The move is pawn b3. Maybe like that. Looks like it loses a pawn. Clearance sacrifice. Point of the video. We got there. We went on a couple tangents, but we always get there. So pawn to b3. The point is, if pawn takes, what's black's follow-up? Well, knight to a6, knight b4. Right? Boom, bam, boom, bam. It's a beast of a knight. That's what a clearance sacrifice is. We gave up b4. We plant a knight on b4, and it is the best piece on the board. So he takes with the queen, the better move. But it's still a clearance sacrifice. Rather than the b4 square, it's the b file now. And the rook quickly connects there. We get queen c2. All right, prophylactics. Pretty good. And what should white do here? Goes rook d2, fine. Black tries to dislodge this knight on c4, makes some sense. And white throws the game immediately here. The move he played is wild. I'll show you what I assume he missed. But I think most people are going b3 here, right? Right, he's trying to dislodge the knight from the b2 pawn. All right, black does have a mean diagonal. Like, you might need to be a little worrisome. But it's still a game. Hard to play for white, but it's still a game. After knight a5, it is not a game at all. How do you win this as black? Simple. Rook takes b2. I think what white might have missed is maybe he saw queen d1, and then you get queen e5, and it's like, oh no, my bishop. But then it's like, what are you talking about? Checkmate? And you're like, what are you talking about? Checkmate? Rook b1, king takes, queen a1 mate. Did you see it? Did you calculate? I hope so. I should have paused. Sometimes we don't pause. So that would have been cool. But, you know, he's like, okay, I see it now. I'm going to sack the queen. What's the best move after the bishop trade? Concise. Queen f6 check. You pick up a pawn. Use the queen, right? You have a queen for a rook and a knight. Use the queen. Pick up some pawns. We get knight c6, knight b6, and white just resigns because honestly it just looks like checkmate. And it is a hopeless position. The king's on the a file. Not so good for white. So a pretty cool positional game. They didn't play at a GM level, but we're human, right? It was a fun game. It was an interesting game. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be more consistent for the rest of the week. So I think I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day and peace out. Boom!